The time has come. Igor, pull the lever. Finally, it's alive! Oh my, what gorgeous monster you are!
Freeze! Drop down, your monster!
Why? What did I do?
You are under arrest for violating Section 201 of the Potato Peace Act.
What? Wait. How did you find my secret laboratory, Inspector?
Oh, nice architecture, creepy music, and an inside informant.
Igor, you traitor!
So, let me go over there and put these nice handcuffs on you.
Hold it! First, tell me, Inspector, what is Section 201?
According to the Potato Peace Act, Section 201 is the prohibition of resurrecting a corpse in a secret lab during a dark, stormy night.
Oh, then I haven't done anything wrong, Inspector.
What do you mean?
What I have brought back to life here is not a corpse, it is a crop.
Seems like you got a good point, but I'll leave it to the judge to interpret the statute. Oh, Judge!
Leave this to me.
Hello, it's me again, Miss P. Welcome to my lecture. Today, we are going to look at interpretation of statutes. You are probably wondering why we need judges to interpret statutes that have been drafted and passed by the Parliament. You see, once law has been created, it needs to be applied in real-life situations. However, some real-life situation details might be overlooked by the Parliament. This is why when a case occurs and the law seems uncertain about it, it is up to the judges to interpret the statute and make the statutory meanings clear. There are many factors as to why a statutory meaning can be uncertain. Among them are drafting errors, unforeseen developments, and political uncertainty. In addition to this, uncertainty as to the interpretation of a statute can also arise where words have more than one potential meaning, or the meaning of a particular word has changed over time, or the meaning of a word is derived from the context in which that word is used.
For example, in the case of Mendoza and Gaiden, the meaning of spouse was interpreted to include gay partner in a homosexual relationship. In this case, a man named Mendoza tried to win statutory tenancy over a flat that he had used to share with his deceased partner. He claimed that he had the right under Rent Act 1977. The landlord, Ahmad Gaiden, brought proceedings in the court to claim possession of the flat. At first, the judge refused to decide in favor of Mendoza because there was a precedent stating that a same-sex relationship was not equivalent to a spousal relationship. Nevertheless, during the appeal, the judge construed the meaning of spouse in Rent Act 1977 to include persons in same-sex relationship because discrimination based on sexual orientation is impermissible by Article 14 of the Human Rights Act 1998.
The primary objective of statutory interpretation is for the courts to discover the will or intention of Parliament. In circumstances where the meaning of a statute is unclear, a judge has a range of rules, aids, and presumptions which can assist with interpretation. When judges are interpreting statutes, their aim is to give meaning to a disputed point of legislation. The Interpretation Act provides some terms to be used. Some may be plain and have a straightforward meaning, and some may be ambiguous and vague. In determining the actual meaning of legislation, judges may use 3 traditional rules of interpretation, which the court will employ to determine the intention of the statute. The courts also rely on rules of language and materials to assist in statutory interpretation. The 3 traditional rules of interpretation are the literal rule, the golden rule, and the mischief rule.
Hello? Excuse me? Yes. May I help you, sir?
Is the flick knife on display in your window shop on sale?
I'm afraid so, sir. I mean, there's a price tag and everything.
Aha! Did you know that it is an offense under the Restriction of Offensive Weapons Act to offer an ejector knife for sale? Hold it right there, officer. Let's use the literal rule to settle this case. The literal rule is where the courts interpret legislation in the statute's natural meaning. The court considers what the legislation is actually saying rather than considering what it might mean. Therefore, the words in the legislation takes their literal meaning, which involves the use of plain, ordinary, literal, and grammatical meaning. The literal rule is good because it upholds separation of powers by restricting the role of the judge, but can sometimes create loopholes in the law. In Fisher and Bell, the defendant had a flick knife displayed in his shop window with the price tag on it. The statute has made it a criminal offense to offer such flick knives for sale. His conviction was quashed as goods on display in shops are not offers in the technical sense, but an invitation to trade. The court applied the literal rule of statutory interpretation in this case.
Mom, am I the only child that you ever had?
Why, of course, darling.
So, if you're gone, this house will belong to me?
Absolutely.
How much do you love me, Mom?
With my whole life. Why do you ask?
Oh, nothing.
In Rigsworth, a son murdered his mother. She had not made a will. Under the statute setting the law on intestacy, he was her sole issue and stood to inherit her entire estate. The court applied the golden rule, holding that an application of the literal rule would lead to a repugnant result. The son was thus entitled to nothing. The golden rule seeks to apply a reasonable and rational decision. Where the statute was passed to remedy a weakness, the interpretation will correct that weakness, making complex cases easier to understand. The golden rule is good because it brings common sense to the law. Even though judges may become lawmakers and infringe separation of powers. Oi there, I have to give you a ticket for being drunk while in charge of a carriage.
It's not drunk. It's not a carriage. It's a bicycle. It's a bicycle. See?
Oh, really? Let's hear a word from the judge about this.
Shine Kokery, you are hereby sentenced to 1 month of imprisonment for being drunk while being in charge of a bicycle in public.
Why? It's not carriage. Section 12 of Act says drunk driving, carriage wrong, carriage. She's bicycle, she's not carriage.
That is true. However, I see a mischief in this case. And we also need to move on with time. Listen.
The mischief rule is applied where there is ambiguity in the statute. Under the mischief rule, the court's role is to suppress the mischief the act is aimed at and advance the remedy. Although judges may infringe separation of powers, the mischief rule helps in allowing the law to develop and adapt according to changing needs. In Kokery and Carpenter, Kokery was sentenced to 1 month imprisonment for being drunk in charge of a bicycle in public. He was subsequently charged under Section 12 of the Licensing Act 1872 with being drunk in charge of a carriage. The act made no actual reference to bicycles. The court elected to use the mischief rule to decide the matter. The purpose of the act was to prevent people from using any form of transport on the public highway whilst in a state of intoxication. The bicycle was clearly a form of transport, and therefore the user was correctly charged. You can see that when judges use statutory interpretation, it may be considered a skill of language rather than a law. Judges can interpret more than one meaning for the same word, and that the meaning of the word can change depending on the context which it may be stated in. In conclusion, statutory interpretation is important to the access of justice because it helps the judiciary system implement the law in an efficient and effective way, and it also helps the parliament to make the law. That's all for my lecture today. Thank you for watching. See you next time.